TK, the Raisin Man.
What's going on, man? We back with the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons last year, not a bad year. 8-9. So didn't make the playoffs, but did win eight games in a down year. And more importantly, that guy up there on the screen, man, Mr. Michael Penix Jr., got into action last year and looked pretty good. So there is promise down there in the ATL. BetMGM got him coming in at 7.5 this year. So they're saying the Falcons are going to regress. I don't know. But what do you guys think about what they did last year and the promise that Michael Penix and this offense showed last year when he finally got into action, man?
Yeah. I think the Atlanta Falcons, man, listen, they're a team to be watched out there in the NFC, period, with Michael Penix playing the full year. As you can see, that guy, Drake London, on the screen. Get him, Ray. Ray's still out there. I do believe that this team is underrated going into the season, and I'm excited to see what they gonna do in the future, because I'm not going to talk about too much what they did last season, because I think Kirk Cousins was a shell of himself, and I think he hurt them tremendously last year. They could have won a lot of games if he could actually had a arm out there to get the ball out there to those receivers. So Michael Penix, man, if he has a big season, I think this Falcons team can sneak themselves into the playoffs and maybe get that 7th seed. Who knows? But, Coach, tell them what they did last year and why you should be excited for the Falcons going into the future or not.
All right, Pat. Let me sit here and we take a look at the Atlanta Falcons. We see that they scored 389 points, 13th in the league, so they're a little bit above average. But their point against 423, which is putting them in the lower spectrum of the league. Now, the SRS was at 2.19, 19th in the league. Strength of schedule is at a 0.19. But, again, total points was 389. Look at their total yards, 6,287, which is at a 5.8 yards per play. Now, passing, they completed 364 yards out of 559 yards for 4,068 yards. 21 touchdowns, but 19 interceptions. And it's not good. Rushing total, 495 carries for 2,219 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 4.5 yards per carry. So that's saying something in the rushing spectrum. Now, their league ranks, again, was 13th in points scored. Their yards was 6th. Passing yards was 5th. Touchdowns was 20th. Pass interceptions was 29th. Rushing yards, 10th. Touchdowns, 8th. So, they do have a decent offense. Their defensive ranks, though, points scored was 23rd. Yards was 23rd. Pass yards was 22nd. Pass touchdowns was 31st. Interceptions was 17th. Rush yards was 15th. And rushing touchdowns allowed was 4th, though. So they're not giving up touchdowns. So they're doing a good job in between the goal line. So I'll give them credit there where that's due. Now, players that are impactful for them, we see it. Now, he's not going to have a whole lot of numbers because he just played a little bit towards the end of the season, but Mr. Michael Penix, 61 completions on 105 attempts, 58.1 percentage. So definitely need to improve there. 775 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But he's a rookie, didn't play that much. Pat, you even talked about Kirk Cousins. So that does have an impact. So we'll see going forward. Now, player coming in or there that is going to have a big impact, Jake Matthews, offensive lineman. You know me. And especially when you have a young quarterback, you need to protect him. The man has played in 179 games and started in 179 games. So he came in as a rookie and said, when you put me out there to play, I'm starting. 11,666 snaps. So he's serviceable. He's been to the Pro Bowl. In terms of penalties, total 58 over his career, 27 holding, 23 false starts, 8 of them declined. So, all right, I'll give him that. You know, he set the franchise record for consecutive games played and has the longest active streak to start in the NFL. I've said it before, 179 games. He helped the Falcons rush for the second most yards in a single season in franchise history, 2,718 yards in 2022. Blocked for an offense in 22 that rushed for more than 100 yards in 15 consecutive games. For the third all-time in franchise history, and for the first time since 2005. So you see how impactful this man is. The numbers showed you he's going to block, and he's going to help Michael Penix step up and be a better quarterback and be the quarterback that many of us believe he is capable of being. So there you have it. Over to you, NYG.
Yeah, man, that Michael Penix Jr., man, I do think he's going to be special. And I think the Falcons, you know, they do have an opportunity, you know, to improve on last year with having Michael Penix in the lineup for a full season. Now, they did lose some pieces. Particularly here, we talking about a couple of edge rushers. Matthew Judon, Lorenzo Carter, James Smith-Williams. You don't like to see that. Grady Jarrett, long-time Falcon, now a Chicago Bear. Justin Simmons is gone. Rondell Moore, wide receiver, went to the Vikings. But out of this list, man, who do you think they're gonna miss the most? You know, on this team here, looking at this list of key losses. Y'all talk to me.
All right, man. I think they're gonna miss this man, Matthew Judon, a whole lot, because even though he's a little old in the tooth, man, that man Matthew Judon just gets after the quarterback. And so, who are they gonna get to replace his veteran leadership on the field? Not just the way he played on the field, his veteran leadership on the field. You know, Matthew Judon is 10 sacks waiting to happen. So him, you know, losing him, I think the Falcons already have issues on defense as far as getting after the quarterback. So we're going to see what they do to replace Matthew Judon, if they did anything to replace Matthew Judon. And I don't think that's a guy that's easily replaced because of what he just brings as a leader on the field, man. He's been doing it for a lot of years, and he's still a good player to me. So we'll see. But, Coach, who you got, man?
You know, J.D. Garrett is definitely, Judon is definitely one, but for me, Grady Jarrett, man. What more can I say? I mean, this man has been consistent for years. He owns that middle, man. He's so impactful up front. You know, whether he's using quickness, using strength, playing with great leverage, hand placement, whatever he needs to do, whether he creates a double team or he beats his blocks as a solo and makes a play, whether in the run game, and he can get after the quarterback a little bit. So I think Grady Jarrett is going to hurt. They already had a defense that needed work. Well, I said it before with Tampa Bay, with Vita Vea. I said you need to solidify the middle of your defense at any point in time, whether that's on the front line or on the second level with your linebackers. You need to solidify. And Grady Jarrett is one of those players who can help solidify the middle of any defense. So to me, he's a big guy. He's a classic, what I call sexy fatty. He's just like me, a sexy fatty. So there you go. So that's who I think it is. So I'll turn it back over to you guys.
Yeah, definitely, man. What you said, Coach. They need to get tough in the trenches over there in Atlanta. Let's see if they did that with the key additions. Key additions here. They went out and got Leonard Floyd. There's that. Katavius Street re-signed. There's that. Yeah. You're not a lot in free agency. As far as they bought Morgan Fox in. Morgan Fox. But Jake Matthews, he re-signed there. I don't know, man. Underwhelming, very underwhelming offseason. I even had a trouble finding somebody to put in this spot as a pitcher because it was very underwhelming for me, guys. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, the only person that I see on that list that's even worth mentioning to me is Leonard Floyd. Maybe he could take that veteran leadership part from losing Matthew Judon, but I don't see him being as impactful as a Matthew Judon. I think Leonard Floyd is like a pinch hitter. He's the guy you bring in, to come in and clean up the mess after your starters, a little winded. He can come in there and give you some snaps at that point in time. And he's done that with the Rams, the 49ers, the Bears. I think he was with the Cowboys one year. So I think he was with the Commanders last year, if I'm not mistaken. So he's not a guy that's gonna, be that focal point for your team. So Leonard Floyd is the only guy I could think of. Coach, who you thinking about on this list?
First off, I'm not trying to be disrespectful because NYG, when you said Morgan Fox, I had to do a double take because I thought you said Megan Fox for a second. I was like, huh? What? Wait a minute. But no disrespect to this man. I don't know him from a can of paint, so I'm going to be honest with you. So right now, me, I always talk about the front lines and defensively, you didn't do anything. The best you did was Jake Matthews, and I already spoke about him. You did get something on the back end, and Hughes, Jordan Fuller, Kevin King. I'm like, all right, but underwhelming is not even a right word for me. Highly disappointing in what they did, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You really didn't do much. So either you have some young studs that are already on the roster, or you drafted some young studs to attack that front line, because I already went over Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay, if I'm the OC thinking about right now, without knowing your full roster, I'm saying I'm running the ball right down your throat, and I'm challenging you to stop me. And that's just Tampa Bay. So I can imagine what the rest of your schedule is saying. Like I said, I'm highly disappointed in what I'm seeing. And if you think all you're going to do is rely on your offense to put up numbers and win shootouts, Atlanta, it don't work like that, brothers. So right now, other than Jake Matthews, who I already spoke about, I'm not impressed with the new additions, man. I'm just going to leave it like that.
Yeah. He said Megan Fox. It looked like Megan Fox.
And I had to do a double take.
And they might be better off with Megan Fox.
Woo! Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. But again, man, yeah. Let's see if they did any better with their draft picks. Only had 5 of them, so we gotta make the best of it. They working with pennies over there in Atlanta. But that being said, Jalen Walker, stud out of Georgia, man. Home run pick right there with the 15th overall pick. Then they went another pick in round 1, 2 first-round picks, and got James Pierce Jr. So the Falcons finally taking their pass rush serious. Xavier Watts, man, very safety, man, from Notre Dame. That might be a steal in the third round. Billy Bowman Jr. out of Oklahoma, and then Jack Nelson, tackle out of Wisconsin in the 7th round, developmental prospect. But what are you guys' thoughts on the draft picks since they didn't really do much in free agency? Talk to me.
Yeah. They went crazy with the edge rushers in the first round. Jalen Walker at pick number 11. But I'm going to talk about the second guy that they got in the first round, who I think is going to turn out to be the better pro. And that's James Pierce from Tennessee, man. James Pierce from Tennessee, man, he is absolutely a wild man out there, and not in a bad way. Like, he runs damn near a 4.3 at the edge position, and he is tough to block, very quick off the snap, and he just hunts, man. He just goes out there and hunts. So if they develop this kid the way that he's supposed to be developed, he's going to be all right, man. James Pierce can definitely fill that role. I think he can fill the Leonard Floyd role better than Leonard Floyd can do right now in James Pierce. So put a little weight on him, let him get out there, and let him go hunt, man. But, Coach, who you thinking about out there, bro?
Pat, good breakdown. Great assessment. Atlanta is attacking the edges. Okay, great job, Atlanta. Do what you're supposed to do there. But again, I'm going to go back to what I said in the last segment. Can you stop the run on a consistent basis? I have not seen anything that says in the middle of your defense, you're going to hold strong. If I'm a team, inside dome, hell, I'll go old school and run ISO on you. I'll target one of your linebackers with a big fullback, an H-back, and just lay the wood on them and just say, can you stop me from running? What do you have in camp that's in the middle of your defense that tells me you can hold the middle, you can be stout, even let your dynamic edges get in and make the plays, even in the run game? I mean, Pierce did a good job, holding, setting the edge, getting off the blocks and making a play in the run game. I'm not going to sit here and tell you don't have some guys who can make plays on the edge. But if I'm running between the A gaps, maybe in between the 2 B gaps, and I'm just going to seal the edges, ride them up the field, are you able to stop that, fellas? Are you really able to stop it? Because right now, what I'm seeing and what this is telling me is Atlanta wants to win in the shootout. They think that they're going to be successful in the National Football League in a shootout. This ain't college, baby. This ain't college. When you leave college, you're supposed to step up and be a grown-ass man. Atlanta, you ain't showing me you're going to be a grown-ass man because you have your quarterback. But if you're going to rely on his arm and your run game there on a consistent basis and think that you're going to win a shootout, I don't know, man. Y'all take it because I'm really disappointed in Atlanta. I really am.
Yo, I ain't going to hold you, Coach. I'm not going to hold you, bro. I'm disappointed too because, after the year they had last year, I expected them to do a little bit more in draft and in free agency. But let's see how they put it all together. Okay, let's take a look at this roster, and then we're going to make our assessment from here. Y'all know how we do on this show. Now, as I'm looking at it here, again, we've been talking about it. We like the offense. We like the offense. Drake, London, Ray McLeod. You know what I'm saying? Darnell Mooney, very underrated receiver as well. So you got some weapons there. You also got Cal Pitts at tight end. So, Bijan Robinson. I mean, Michael Penix Jr. I mean, but you know, you're looking at the defense. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I mean, I like AJ Terrell Jr. And Jesse Bates back there on the back end. But again, you know, you're relying on a lot of young prospects and you know, kind of, you know, veterans that you brought in. You know, some of these veterans like Leonard Floyd, you know, to come in and really make a difference here. I don't know. If you can't get to the quarterback, those guys in the back end, while they're good, I mean, they can't cover forever. But y'all know how we do on this show. We got our football aficionados in the building. Coach, let Coach get the offense this time, man. I want Pat to take the defense, man. And Coach, man, give me your assessment of the offense for the Atlanta Falcons here, man, as you take a look at the roster.
Damn, man. You knew I was going to tear up that defense, man.
That's right.
You know it, man. I had about fourth, my knife, and the plate right here, ready to slice it up. So I'm focused on the offense, man. Offensively, I said it before. They can play offensively, man. I mean, they have a good offensive line. They have skilled players, Mooney, London, McLeod. I mean, you know, you got Agnew. I mean, you got back-end players, Kyle Pitts, Warmer. I mean, you have some time in the run game with Robinson, Algier. Oh, come on, man. They can set it up. And then Penix, I'll even give Kirk Cousins as a backup, an expensive backup, but as a backup. He's still good as a backup. So, you know, your quarterback position is solid. So offensively, you can go out there and, you know, front line is going to do what they need to do. They're going to allow your running backs to run and make plays, and you're going to be able to get the ball downfield, you know. So again, with this offense, they're going to be able to put up points. There is no doubt in my mind about that. Plus, you're playing a dome. You know, you're playing a couple domes. So, yeah, and Tampa Bay with good weather. Yeah, I'm expecting you to put up points. No, the other issues on that, the other side of the ball, man. But go ahead, Pat. Man. You got the other side.
Talk about this defense, man.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, Coach, you ain't the only one that got their thunder stolen, man. I was ready to talk about this offense. Get them, Ray out there getting them. It was Michael Penix and them boys out there. But, hey, listen, we multifaceted over here, so we could talk about this defense, too. So, this defense here, man, you got Morgan Fox, not Megan Fox, Morgan Fox, David Ayameta, Zach Harrison, Jalen Walker starting, Devon Diablo coming over from the Las Vegas Raiders, Caden Ellis, he did decent. You got Leonard Floyd, who I do not believe is a starter. You got Mike Hughes, gets the business out there a lot of the times. Jesse Bates is very good. Now, Jason Bates is nice. Jordan Fuller, he's off and on. AJ Terrell, one of the better cornerbacks in the league, and D. Alford in the slot. I'm with you, Coach. I am very disappointed in what they did with this defense because your offense was set. You know what I'm saying? But they did get James Pierce and Jalen Walker. And I think James Pierce is going to have a better career than Jalen Walker. I just think Jalen Walker, you know, he has that Georgia, you know, university behind him. So that allowed him to go up higher than I think he should have went. But, man, this secondary, I see his food going into the season. Jesse Bates better be able to go sideline to sideline this season. And he can hit a little bit, but are these guys going to be out there willing to tackle? Devon Diablo being a number one middle linebacker for you, I don't believe that is conducive to them. And like you said, Coach, I do believe that they're going to get ran on this season.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at this depth chart, man, they're gonna get ran on this season. And it's gonna be, are you gonna willing to bring your lunch pail today? Because if that offense doesn't put up 24 to 30 points a game, I can see them losing some games.
Mm-hmm.
So either this defense is going to have to be super opportunistic, which they do have the pieces to do that with people like Jesse Bates out there, and they do have the speed on the edge to get to you, to get to your quarterback. If they get you if they're up 20 to 10 or something like that in the fourth quarter, and you have to pass the ball, if they can get you in those situations, then I may see their defense doing something this year. But if it's just a dogfight, I think they lose, man. I do believe they lose, but NYG, man, hey, that's our offensive defense for the Atlanta Falcons, man.
Yeah, I think you guys are spot on. I think this defense is lunch meat, and they're gonna have to get into a lot of shootouts. So let's see who they're gonna be getting into these shootouts with. As we take a look at the schedule here, fellas. I'm gonna be honest with you. They got Atlanta at 7.5. I don't know, bro. Cause I mean, you starting out with Tampa, Minnesota, then you go at Carolina. We're gonna get into the Panthers next, man. I think that's a team that is being slept on a little bit. Then you got Washington, the Bills, the 49ers, man. I mean, good God, bro. I don't know, man. And then you look at the back end. Seattle, Arizona, Los Angeles. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. You're going to have to get into a lot of these shootouts. So I don't know if you can outshoot the Vikings or outshoot the Commanders or the Buffalo Bills or even the Dolphins. But y'all talk to me, man. 7.5. What y'all got for the Falcons? I don't know.
Man.
I don't know.
Tampa Bay, Minnesota, Carolina, Washington, your first 4. And it's 7.5.
Yeah. They won 8 last year now. So Vegas is saying they're gonna regress. And I see why.
Yeah, GM in Vegas, they might be on to something here. But I'm going to go against them. I'm going to say over. I say they get at least 8 wins this year.
Okay.
Based on, because I do believe Michael Penix is a way better option at quarterback than what Kirk Cousins was. And if they won, 8 games last year with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, messing them up in the beginning of that season, I can't see any reason why to go against them getting 8 wins this year, even though that defense is looking a little underwhelming. But Washington, Minnesota, Tampa Bay twice, the Rams. Yeah, man. This could go either way, but I'm going to go over based on my man Michael Penix, man. I think he could get them over the hump. I truly believe that he can get them over the hump. But, Coach, what you think, man?
I'm going to say this, man. It's not going to surprise me if they go 1-7, 1-6, 0-7 with those first 7 games.
Oh my goodness.
And then on top of that, you're going to New England in the beginning of November. See, again, I said the defense and shootouts. Tampa Bay, you're not beating that first game. You're not beating Minnesota. NYG, you talked about Carolina. So, even if you split with them during the season, that first game is going to be tough. Washington, Buffalo, yeah, you're playing them in Atlanta. But now those teams are playing in the Dome also. And both those teams do also they can play a little bit of defense. You're going to Frisco, and people, you don't know what Frisco team you're going to get. And if you get in the championship caliber Miami, I don't care if you are hosting them. Then you go to New England. All right, Indianapolis. We don't know who we're going to get. So, Carolina, like I say, you can probably split and you're at home. Okay. New Orleans, you can probably get New Orleans, maybe. The Jets in New York, the end of November into the beginning of December. Seattle, then Tampa. You're not winning Tampa Bay. Arizona is going to be a decent team. The Rams, come on, man. 7.5. I'm sorry. I don't, Pat. I love you, bro. There, I disagree with you. I can't see 7.5. I can barely see 5, 4. And that's y'all know how I am with Michael Penix. I love Michael Penix. This is going to be about their defense more than anything. And a good running team is going to control the clock, and or if they're physical, they're just going to dominate you. Like Tampa Bay, I know it's the first game, so but I don't believe in their defense. And Tampa Bay can run the football, and I think just running the football, they can get 4 touchdowns in that game just running the football. Mm-hmm. And not even throwing, and now add in the throws. Even if you get 2 more touchdowns, that's 6 touchdowns. That's 42 points.
Coach, I have
the
utmost faith in Michael Penix with that offense, man. I'm just gonna be with Bijan Robinson.
Defense, Pat. What did I just say? It's the defense.
Listen. If they get out on top of you, I do believe their defense can swarm. They're very fast on defense. So I think they could be opportunistic. And with Michael Penix being a way better option at quarterback, if they won 8 games last year, the way what Kirk Cousins was playing last year, I can't go against them getting 8 wins this year.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I respect that. I respect your opinion. But you just said something. Get up on teams. Right now, in those first 7, do you think they can really? You want to say Carolina?
Who you getting up on? That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. You can get up on Carolina. You can get up on Carolina.
That's what I said. If you say Carolina, and I did say 1
you can get up on Miami. You can get up on Miami. You can get up on San Francisco as well. If they offense plays well against San Francisco, I think they win that game. Wholeheartedly.
In Frisco, here's the thing about the Falcons, and this is a trend over the years. You don't trust the Falcons on the road. It's one of those teams you do not trust on the road, even if they playing a so-called lesser team. Some of these road games, like New England, San Francisco, the Jets, Arizona, it could go either way. Really, you probably favor the other teams in that situation because of who the Falcons are and because they don't have a defense. And what do we say about defenses? Defenses travel, especially in cold weather stadiums. And when you don't have one, guess when you go to the cold, you're gonna freeze.
I love Michael.
It can be bad either way, man.
But I do like Michael Penix, and I do think
Falcons. I do like their offense. I do. I
have promise.
I would pay to see their offense, and that says a lot when it comes from me. But it's always about defense with me. And this right now is outside of Cincinnati. This is probably one of the most disappointing off seasons that I've seen in their team, man. And Pat, I hope you're right because I want to see Michael Penix shine, bro. And I'm cool with beginning shootouts in a sense, but then what happens in the shootout? It comes to those closing moments. Can you close out that game? And it's the defense that usually can close out the game more than it's the offense. And if you're telling me they have the ball last in all these games. And they're close. Okay, then that changes the whole. But I go back to this is my issue with them. And unless they have a scheme that's just amazing, they're going to be coming from different angles with blitz. Because right now, in the interior of that defense, we just went over the roster. That's what concerns me because if I'm going between B gap to B gap. Ideally, I'm running the inside zone, and if I see that all you're going to do is crash the inside, then I'm going to attack the outside because now I got you where I want you. So it's like it's a catch-22. Because Pat, you're right. If they can play and hold the fort a little bit defensively with their offense, I can understand where you're coming from. Michael Penix is an upgrade over Kirk Cousins, so I can understand saying at least 8 games. I can, and I'll even say, you know what? If they can play some defense, I'll even say they can probably get to 10 wins.
I'm telling you,
they can play some defense.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna take the under, and because I do not trust the Falcons on the road, and I do not trust that defense. So I think they'll win some games against some lesser teams, but the meat of their schedule, they're gonna get mocked. I promise you.
And
but
here's the biggest thing. One last thing. I'm sorry before we get out of here. I think the start of the season determines the end of their season.
That's a fact.
Because if they say, for argument's sake, they're 0-7 going into New England.
Oh, it's over.
Morale is going to be, and it might end up being, you know what? Did somebody on offense significantly get? And I do not wish this on you, Atlanta fans. I'm not wishing this, but if somebody significantly gets hurt, one of your key money players,
it's over.
Yeah. You're going to put that number 1 overall draft pick.
It's going to be hell to pay down there in the ATL. But we got to get to these Carolina Panthers, man. The Panthers, man, I think got a little bit of problems here, man. It might be slept on, man. We're talking about the Falcons, talking about the Bucks. We ain't forgot about you, Panthers. And we're going to get to them Saints a little bit later, man. But we're going to be right back with the next one. Let's get it.